Imagine a life where, no matter what challenges you face, be it fear, sickness, or emotional turmoil, you walk through them with absolute confidence, knowing you are never alone. Today, we explore the power of divine protection, inspired by one of the Bible's most comforting chapters, Psalm 91, and discuss how its message can bring peace and strength to your life, even in the darkest moments. As you listen to this video, I invite you to reflect on how often we search for safety and peace in the wrong places. Can true refuge be found within ourselves, or is there something far greater we can turn to? Section 1. The Shelter of the Almighty. Psalm 91 begins with a powerful image. Those who dwell in the shelter of the Most High will find rest in the shadow of the Almighty. For many, this sounds like a promise of safety, but it's more than that. It's a reminder of where we place our trust. In my own life, I've often felt weighed down by the pressures of the world. Like so many, I've tried to handle everything on my own: career, relationships, health. But the truth is, there are forces beyond our control. When life feels overwhelming, the idea of surrendering our worries to God can bring immense relief. It's not a form of giving up, but rather giving into a higher power, trusting that there is a plan even when we can't see it clearly. Just as a parent shields a child from harm, God offers that same protective shelter. But here's the key: this protection isn't automatic. The psalm emphasizes the importance of dwelling in God's presence, not just visiting when things get tough. Many of us only seek God in moments of crisis, but imagine how different our lives might be if we made His presence our permanent dwelling, not just a temporary escape. Section 2. Facing fears and challenges. The psalm describes how, even though 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, harm will not come near you. This isn't a promise that we will never face challenges. Rather, it's a reminder that no matter what happens around us, our faith provides a shield. Consider the world today: economic struggles, natural disasters, social unrest. It's easy to be consumed by fear, but fear is often our greatest enemy, paralyzing us from taking action. Psalm 91 gives us a powerful weapon against that fear: faith. I've found that during my most trying times, the greatest shift didn't come from my external circumstances changing, but from my perspective changing. When I shifted from fear-based thinking to faith-based action, I was able to face difficulties with a calm that seemed impossible before. This doesn't mean I didn't feel fear, but I wasn't controlled by it. I remember a friend who faced a serious health crisis. She was terrified, as anyone would be. But rather than letting fear control her, she clung to her faith, and her inner peace was palpable even as doctors gave uncertain answers. Her calmness wasn't denial, it was rooted in a deep trust that God was guiding her, no matter the outcome. Faith doesn't eliminate our struggles, but it transforms how we face them. When you know that God's got your back, you can confront even the hardest challenges without being crushed by them. Section 3. God's protection in every area of life. The psalm beautifully mentions that God will command His angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. This brings up an interesting point: do we truly believe that we're protected in every aspect of life? It's easy to trust God in spiritual matters, but what about the day-to-day? Do we rely on Him when we're stuck in traffic, stressed at work, or dealing with difficult relationships? Often, we separate our faith from the practical parts of life. But Psalm 91 reminds us that God's protection covers everything. In my experience, I've often compartmentalized my faith. I used to only think of God during prayer and church. But life changed for me when I began applying my faith to all areas of my life, from small, everyday tasks to major life decisions. When I started trusting in God's guidance at work or during stressful moments, I noticed a huge shift in my overall peace. Section 4. The role of angels and spiritual protection. The idea of angels watching over us might feel abstract, but it's deeply comforting. Think of angels as God's messengers, reminders of His constant care and attention. While we can't see these protectors, the knowledge that there are forces beyond our physical realm working in our favor is powerful. In my view, angels represent a larger concept, the invisible help we often receive when we need it most. Have you ever experienced a situation where something just seemed to work out when the odds were against you? I see those moments as glimpses of divine intervention, whether it's through the hands of others or subtle shifts in circumstances. A friend once shared a story of narrowly avoiding a car accident. To this day, she's convinced that there was some unseen force protecting her. It's stories like this that remind us how little control we truly have, but how much care God has for us. Section 5. Facing life's storms with strength. The psalm mentions that with God's strength, we will tread on the lion and the cobra. This is a powerful metaphor for overcoming seemingly insurmountable odds. Life throws challenges our way, physical, emotional, and spiritual. But with faith, we aren't just surviving these challenges, we are conquering them. When facing storms in life, I often think about the importance of perspective. Are we viewing our challenges as giants that can crush us, or as obstacles we are equipped to overcome with God's help? Section 6. The long and fulfilled life. Finally, the psalm concludes with a promise of a long, fulfilled life. This doesn't just refer to the number of years we live, but the quality of those years. God desires for us to experience a life full of peace, joy, and purpose. I've come to realize that true fulfillment isn't found in material success, but in a life lived in alignment with God's will. The more I seek His presence and protection, the more I feel peace, no matter what's going on around me. The central message of Psalm 91 is that no matter what challenges life brings, be it danger, fear, or uncertainty, those who place their trust in God will find refuge, strength, and peace. It's not about avoiding challenges but facing them with the confidence that you are never alone. Let this be a reminder: when you dwell in God's presence, you are equipped to overcome anything life throws your way. Your faith is your greatest protection, and with it, you can stand firm even in the midst of life's storms.